Toss to White. He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
Welcome to Patriots Touchback Podcast.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome on back to the Patriots Touchback Podcast. It is Season 3, Episode 22. And here we are for our Week 5 preview. Rivalry renewed, or well, in our eyes it is, but to the person on the other end of the team, it ain't going to be so much. It is, of course, the Patriots taking on the Buffalo Bills. It's Sunday Night Football under the lights. It's going to be a spectacle, and you know, with an AFC East clash, it's going to be heated. Tonight, I have got a very, very special guest on, someone I've known for many, many years. As a Buffalo Bills fan, he runs the podcast Red, White, and Buffalo Blue, represent off the UK Bills platform as well. It's Matt. Good evening, Matt. Long time to see, buddy. How are we?
Not too bad. Not too bad, actually. It's great to be on the show, and it's a long time no see.
It's been a long time since the last time we spoke about, and obviously Kez is on hand with me for the assisting part of this show as always on a Friday night. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're good. All good. Let's get cracking on with the show then, guys. Smash the like button, Gronk spike the subscribe button, tell all your friends, follow us on social media platforms. Make sure you follow the podcast on Spotify and on Apple as well. UK Bills podcast and the website link is down in the description below. So go make sure you check them out on all the platforms on Spotify, Apple, and there's so many others. I can't remember how many. I've got like 6 different links. So I'll just put your LinkedIn link tree and link into the description so it's easy for everyone to see. So make sure you go check them out. There's some amazing stuff. And I had to listen to your show earlier on this evening while I was sorting some paperwork out. And it was nothing I'm going to cross my eyes over because I don't think anything was out of context at all. But at the end of the day, we are rivals in the AFC East. We are division rivals, but we are a respectable platform. So this is not going to be a he said, she said, shit slinging fight. We leave that to the Jets. So go straight in with you, mate. Obviously, the floor will be all yours to discuss your Bills. You sit at 4-0 right now, sitting pretty, very, very pretty at the top of the AFC right now. Obviously, you're leading the AFC East comfortably. How have you think this season so far, in the first 4 weeks, how do you think the season has gone so far for you?
To be honest, I think a couple of games, I mean, some people in Bills Mafia might say different, but I feel a few of the games we lucked out a little bit. But it's always the saying, the good teams will always find a way to win. And obviously, week 1 against the Ravens, I've admitted this on my show and on social media. I went to bed when I think the Bills were down about 15 or so. So I did not actually stay up and stay awake for the comeback. And I got woken up in the morning to a text from my co-host on our WhatsApp group saying, "Oh, Matt." And as soon as I did that, I went straight online and saw the result. And I'm thinking to myself, God damn it, why did I go to bed that early? Why did I actually give up on it? But it's an interesting season. I mean, the schedule we've had so far is an easy schedule. Bar the Ravens, the teams now are like 1-13 in the season. So everyone's saying that it's like a cupcake schedule and all that. We've worked a little bit harder for it, but as I say, you look at it and you say you've just got to beat what's in front of you. If they play to their best, you've got to play a little bit better. And we've managed to eke out wins, especially against the Ravens, and we were lucked out against the Dolphins, where you always knew that Tua would eventually turn it over, and turning it over right at the end of the fourth quarter made it even better. So it's been good, and hopefully we've got a few more games to our bye week and an easier schedule. I'm classing the Chiefs in this. I'm going to say this, touching wood. classing the Chiefs as a sort of easier game because we seem to love them in the regular season but hate them in the preseason. So everything building up to that Chiefs game, the further we go ahead, the further we stay unbeaten and build that record on, the closer to the 1 seed we'll get, and hopefully end Highmark Stadium with an AFC Championship win.
You spoke about that, the schedule to start the season, and I think everyone would agree it's been pretty favourable. But were you perhaps a little bit surprised by just how closely the Saints played you last weekend? Because I think a lot of people, including myself, thought that would be an absolute molesting. But, you know, they were competitive without even looking overly spectacular.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it's maybe you can class it as we're missing a few players. Obviously, we had to add Oliver. We've had Trey White, who's been coming back. Obviously, missed Max Hairston, our first round pick this year. No Matt Milano. There is a bit of cause for concern. I feel personally with that, and that's especially in the run defense. And we could probably talk about it a little bit later when it comes obviously to the matchup. That our run defense hasn't been the best that it was last year, but yet we are still the number one pass defense in the league through 4 weeks. But you're looking at the quarterbacks of Tua, Tyrod Taylor, Spencer Rattler, Lamar Jackson. So not a good enough sample in there with 3 average quarterbacks, even though I'm a huge Tyrod Taylor fan for what he did for the Bills, obviously getting us into the playoffs, and I'd have him back as a backup in a heartbeat, but only facing 1 true elite quarterback. The stats are a bit skewered a little bit, but it's just the worst thing about this defense and why games are probably kept a little bit closer is the run game and the fact that we've seemed to struggle now to actually to stop the run. I think we're quite low down in the rush defense rankings.
Josh Allen has been performing as we would expect, as we would expect him to be. 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, 964 yards passing so far. But the running game has been what's been catching my eye. Now, Josh hasn't ran as much as you'd like to expect so far. That has been given to the cowbell known as James Cook, who has literally been bulldozing his way every single time. Now, I'll say this. The Ravens defense, this is where I start getting my defense mechanism up here. The Ravens defense isn't that good. The Jets is the Jets at the end of the day. You played the Dolphins defense this year. If we could put 33 points on them, then when obviously, well, you couldn't, but you're close to it. And then you come up against a Saints defense, which, despite their record, they haven't won a single game. They still sort of put up a fight. How obviously James Cook's been absolutely amazing so far, but this game will be pivotal to see how far Cook is gonna really play. Is he gonna get over 100 yards? Is he gonna get 1 or 2 touchdowns in this game and so on? Because the Patriots defense, when it comes to stopping the run, has been one of the top in football. So they're giving up. They're tied second in opposition rushing yards per game. They're tied second in opposition yards per rush, and they're tied third in opposition rushing touchdowns. They're also ranked tied 10th as well for opposition points per game, which was 20.3. So what would be if you was coordinating around James Cook, what would you be conjuring up to see how you could attack this Patriots defense?
I think it starts with one player. It starts with a rookie, in my opinion, on there, and that's our 5th round pick, Jackson Hawes, from Georgia Tech. And obviously he probably was the best blocking tight end in that draft year. And he's come in, and the Bills have been able to run 12 and 13 packages, and we've had most of our run success out of those 2 packages. And it also helps that our offensive line pretty much bar last week, have been the same five literally since the start of last season. So there's the continuity there, and the fact that with Jackson Hawes, Dawson Knox, and Kincaid, both who can block, then that 13 personnel that the Bills introduce and start running, it gives defenses more trouble, because you're thinking, are any of those tight ends going to pass? Are they going to actually spring James Cook? It gives them a mismatch on there. And as I say, James Cook's most of his yards have come from either 2 or 3 tight ends on the field. And we actually said on our podcast that we were happy to let him see out the season, and actually and didn't think he was worth straight away the 15 million. And it looks like that we've got pretty much a bargain from what we actually extended his contract on, and he's literally become, if you take out Josh Allen, the most valuable player of this Bills offense. And not only that, he can play out the backfield as well. So you've got a versatile Swiss Army knife, and you've got ways where the defensive coordinator themselves are going to have a trouble to actually say, are you going to sell out for the run, or are you going to actually stop the pass, knowing that you've got Josh Allen who can scramble, and even that was it second or third down run against the Saints where he knocked off for 27 to lead up to the touchdown drive. You've always got to actually keep Josh Allen in the pocket, and that just makes James Cook even more of a dangerous running back, because you've got to take into account Josh Allen. It's like Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. You've got to count for one or both of them in the run game. The Bills have now got that in Cook and Allen.
I think at this current moment in time, Allen and Cook are probably the best QB running back combination in the NFL, certainly based on form, that's for sure. But what Buffalo don't have, from my eyes, compared to other teams, is perhaps the pass catching weapons. But I guess my question to you is, do you think you can go deep into the postseason with the route that you've got, relying on just your running game and Allen perhaps trying to elevate the lesser talent around him in the passing game?
To be honest, there is a good argument in that. I mean, Joe Brady's brought in the everybody eats last year, and obviously it won Josh the MVP, even though most Ravens fans say that it should have been Lamar, and then the year before it should have been Josh Allen, not Lamar. But that's a different story altogether. But it for Bills fans, it's a bit more of a refresh on there, because obviously we had Stefon Diggs for a good few years, and the offense mainly went through Diggs, and when that stalled, this offense stalled. But now we've got guys like Shakir, you've got Coleman's sounds like he's going to have a breakout season this year. Josh Palmer, he is there or thereabouts. He's a very good mid like a wide receiver 2 or 3 in there. We've got pass catching guys, and our everyone eats mantra actually makes it easier for Josh Allen, because he actually he doesn't have to force it to one guy. Whichever guy's open, you get there. And I think we can go deep in there, because we've proved the fact that we've pretty much, I can't remember how many in the last season and this season, we've scored over 30 points in a game. We've got enough on there to actually to put a score on and make other teams catch us up. So there is an argument that there's no big name wide receiver one, like obviously Stefon Diggs for you guys, like a Garrett Wilson, like a Tyreek Hill, if we're going to stay in the AFC and all that. There may not be that type of guy in Buffalo, but the fact that you've got a close-knit guys and guys of different abilities in there that actually then allow Josh to be Josh, and actually know that he can go through all his reads and actually be comfortable with that O-line protecting him, and choosing any one of those wide receivers. It's like the spin the wheel, choose your poison type offense the Bills and Joe Brady are starting to started to run last year and this year, and it's reaped its benefits. The fact that we've been scoring 30 plus points for God knows how many games and having the number one ranked offense, or number two so far this year, but the number one, two, three, whatever you want to call it, offense in the this year, and last year being good in the pass game again last year. So there's arguments both ways, but every team's different, and the Bills seem to get the success through the everybody eats mantra, and I can see us going deep into the playoffs with it.
You mentioned Stefon Diggs, obviously your former wide receiver. He comes back to Buffalo, not just Diggs for that matter, but also Matt Collins as well. Now, we're happy that we're with Diggs here. Matt Collins, we always feel like he should be a gadget type of player when we need him, because he's been playing a lot of snaps for us over the last 4 weeks. Been shutting out two rookies who we thought during training camp was actually doing really, really well in Karl Williams and Efton Chisholm. But it seems like Matt Collins has taken over that role. What are you? I would say not nervous, but are you a little bit concerned of what Diggs and Hollins could potentially do, considering they played for the Buffalo Bills? They know that franchise inside and out, so they should know your weakest points, not just on your front seven, but also in the secondary as well.
I mean, there's always going to be worries when you actually when it comes to ex players coming back to you and actually and facing you. And we did face Stefon Diggs last year when he actually when we faced the Texans. So we kind of know where we're at with him. I think he went for 82 yards on there. Didn't score a touchdown, but there's always a danger especially with Stefon Diggs. I mean, whether there was disharmony or anything like that led to him being traded, we'll never really know in that. Obviously, he had that time at Minnesota being the diva. So many people actually said, didn't see that much in the first few years as a Bill. Sort of showed a little bit in his last season with us, but he's always going to be a top wide receiver. And yeah, there is a small amount of doubt on there, but we've got a cornerback in Benford who most likely will be shadowing him for most of the game that can handle him. And with Matt Collins, he's one that I think most Bills fans didn't want to leave. I think not just because of he walks into the stadium barefoot, his outfits when he actually comes into the arena and all that are a little bit outlandish and all that, but he is almost, if you want to say, Mr. Reliable. He's actually you put him out there, he will do a job for you, and he showed glimpses against in Buffalo last year, and I think he's the one out of the two probably missed a little bit more because of, as I say, the everybody eats mantra. And I think Diggs would probably been lost a little bit more in that than Matt Collins. So Matt Collins, whilst he's a wide receiver 4, possibly 5, he's a guy that'll come in, contribute, and obviously contribute on special teams as well. And that's how pretty much these lower end wide receivers make the roster, by being that good on special teams. That gives them that lead up, and then anything can happen after that. Like, I'll give an example of for the Bills of Tyrell Shavers, our free agent, undrafted free agent. Spent a couple of years on the practice squad. Had a spell last year when he had one play against the Jets who went for 69 yards and a touchdown. Balled out in preseason and actually made the 53 and has has performed when his number called on, and Matt Collins was exactly the same when he was a Bill last year. So there will be concerns mainly with Diggs, but we should have enough in our tank to actually to really slow him down a little bit more. Fingers crossed. Not seeing what the injury report was like that's just come out. That fingers crossed that we'll have enough in the tank to slow Diggs down and force Drake May to go a different route.
You mentioned Drake May there, Matt, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot's been made of Josh Allen this season in terms of arguably the MVP. So, what do you make of the fact the stats are pretty identical for May and Allen right now? And I'm not suggesting Drake May should be the MVP for starters. I'm just saying that when you look at it, like with their stats being almost identical after 4 weeks, I mean that's a pretty good indictment for Drake May.
Yeah, and I think Josh probably could be a little bit higher with the passing yards, but obviously that's attributed to how well our run game's done. And on the pod, we did the our preview obviously yesterday, and obviously you probably heard it, that I actually thought that I said it quietly that Drake May could become a Tom Brady light for you guys. He shows the same sort of similarities to Tom Brady. Obviously, we hope that for at least for a little bit longer, that he doesn't completely turn straight into him straight away. Although it'll be good to actually have some competition in the AFC East compared to whoever the Jets actually pull out and Tua on there. But he is a good quarterback, and he will always be a threat, no matter what. So I say you've got to make sure that he is kept quiet. And Sean McDermott's done it before to him. He does it to I wouldn't say all rookies because he's not a rookie, but all is the best word to say green for like a first few years into the into NFL season. He's still green in a way that he's still learning a little bit more. That McDermott knows a way of beating those type of quarterbacks, and Drake May is someone that I actually could see actually being up there into the echelons of Allen, Mahomes, Jackson, that sort of echelon. It just may take a little bit of time for it.
When we spoke about Diggs, the connection that he's got with Drake May right now has become quite apparent. Obviously, last week he came off the back of a over 100-yard game, which is the first one he's had in a Patriots uniform. It felt like whilst me and Kieron was watching that game, it felt like Diggs was now primarily put into the slot, not his usual X receiver role. He probably could use that injury. He probably doesn't have the pace. He doesn't have that breakout speed anymore. But he still has the intelligence. He still has the intangibles. He knows where that ball's going to go. He knows. He knows if it's man. He knows if he goes to man coverage. He knows where to go. If it's zone, he knows where to go. If it's the play from last week, which is the 4-3 in the third quarter, all we needed was 3 yards to get the first down. And Josh McDaniels just dials up. Nope, fuck it. We're going to go deep on it. We're going to go deep on a skinny post to to Diggs, and it was a 3-yard back shoulder throw. That connection is going to be so powerful. I think because hang on, where is it on my? Got this on my list here. Where is it? It's made to Diggs 86.4% completion. That's going to be huge in order to stop the Patriots offense, especially in the passing game, because he is going to be relying on Diggs. He's going to be relying on Henry. Hollins will be using as a third down receiver when we being the I call it the Amendola valve, the safety valve, as I prefer to call it. That sort of thing. But you've also one player we haven't brought up yet. Now, you're very good at stopping the run, if it's a proper just straight up the gut play because no one can get any bloody yardage.
Yeah.
One thing I have noticed that the Bills have been very, very slack on, and I wouldn't say weak, but a little bit questionable about, is trying to defend outside zone runs. And we have the perfect player to utilize on the outside zone. He goes by the name of Travion Henderson, the second-round pick out of Ohio State. Now, we're still waiting for him to have that breakout game.
So am I.
I could
Fancy reason, so am I.
I know.
It's coming. Trust me, it's coming at some point.
It will. It could be potentially this game. It might not. It might be further down the road. But when you played New England last year, I know we had literally next to no weapons last year. We had Hunter Henry, Ramondre Stevenson, so that was basically about it. Right? Yes, Kayshon Boutte finally had a breakout game as well, but it led to nothing, unfortunately. But now you look at Boutte, he's in his second year. We've got Diggs, Hollins, Henry. We have Karl Williams when he wants to play and so on. But we are predominantly using the running game as well.
Mm-hmm.
Does this concern you now? Because we do have, I say, slightly better weapons, not great weapons, but we have slightly better weapons. Is that cause to pause compared to last year?
To be honest, there's always going to be concerns on there. Obviously, every year is going to be different for how offenses look, because some of the players you may have last year probably aren't on the team, and you get new guys in, get new system. Obviously, you have a new head coach, and I would say new offensive coordinator, but obviously he's been a coordinator in New England a fair few times before. But you've got new playbooks and all that, so you're always going to see from new head coaches some different, something that you may have not seen last year under a different head coach. So there's always going to be surprises in there. I think with the Bills, and you're right, we're struggling with the outside zone runs and all that. We just don't trying to figure out why that is why that's the case, because we've paid Rousseau handsomely. Obviously, we've got Joey Bosa in, and other than Joey Bosa, Rousseau, who we thought would have a bigger breakout year this year and actually take this next step up from last year, has been very, very slow in actually in realizing that, and actually being a bit underwhelming for his contract length. So there are concerns that we can't set the edge to actually to allow the runs to go outside and hopefully try and funnel them. We'll always try and follow them. If I can speak, try to funnel them inside where we're more stronger, especially with our fourth round pick Dion Walker, who's actually who's become a bit of a beast, in another late round gem that we've actually picked up, who could get more and more playing time as the season goes on, not just for his run stop ability, but his penetration as well. But when you look at the targets on there, obviously Diggs is going to be probably up against Benford, and he was used in the slot a fair few times when he was playing for the Bills. I think with Diggs, the good thing about him is that you can put him in any position, the X, Y, or the slot, and he's always going to be a dangerous player. Now, if the Bills decide to actually just have Benford on him the whole game, that could make a difference to your other targets on there. And the one concern, or another concern, other than the run game itself, that I've seemed to have, and I've discussed this plenty of times on our podcast, is the safety play, and that's going to be the key when you've got Henry, when you've got Boutte, who actually, I say he did have a good game against us in the last game, in the breakout game, and he's got high hopes that he can actually we can keep him quiet. But our safety play hasn't been the best. Cole Bishop is starting to come good a little bit. It's still slow for him. And Taylor Rapp, he just seems to like injure his own teammates rather than actually tackle the opposition. So we have issues a little bit in the secondary injury wise, and I've seen on the injury report that we've got no Dorian Strong, so our backups behind White and Benford are more likely going to be 5th round rookie Jordan Hancock, Jamarcus Ingram, or they may bring up Dane Jackson from the practice squad. So there is a little bit of worry that the Patriots can exploit that with the weapons now that you have. And obviously Hunter Henry up the middle. We've lost Dorian Williams, so we hope Matt Milano comes back. Is going to be an interesting matchup. If you take away Diggs, you're still going to have those matchups on there, and it's going to be an interesting battle and see how well we can actually we can adapt, whether it be straight away or as it seems to be with our defense as we go through the first half, and in the second half we like turn up the wick because we've made those adjustments. So it's going to be an interesting game with the weapons and who's marked up against who and who is ultimately for the Bills available and actually and not on the injury report.
What about the battle in the trenches then, Matt? You know, obviously both teams have really invested in defensive line in particular over the last couple of years. Our O-line is very much, remodeled compared to the absolute shambles that was last season. So what do you think about that trench battle? Because when you get into these divisional matchups, that seems to be a huge factor.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think for the Bills, the O-line has been probably the biggest strength of the Bills in the last 2 years. The fact that we've managed to pretty much keep the whole offensive line intact for the last couple of years. We've actually Aaron Cromer is pretty much the O-line whisperer, it seems, and just having that allows Josh Allen all that time to actually to either scramble, get protected, or just take that time to go through his progressions, get his feet set, and actually send the ball skyrocketing down the field. And on defensive line, we're hoping Ed Oliver is back because he's probably the biggest loss on that defensive line. We've had Bosa come in. He's shown flashes. He's been lost a couple of times. Russo, as I mentioned, seems to have actually gone backwards. Deion Walker, as I say, has actually shown flashes in there for 4th round rookie, something good. And just got to hope that Matt Milano is fit because him and Bernard are probably in tandem one of the top 10, 12 linebacker duos in the NFL, in my honest opinion. So the trenches are always going to be the where the game's going to be won and lost, and I think we just need to tighten up a little bit more on our run defense. Cause I think our run offense, our pass offense, is a lot better than our defensive side, and hopefully Sean McDermott will actually have cracked the whip, and Bobby Babich actually dials up a lot more different looks to get that pressure, which is solely missing from this offense. Because I think we've only got like 7 sacks, I think, all season. For a team that's got Bosa, Russo, Ed Oliver up the middle, Epinesa at times coming in, we've got guys that can get after the quarterback. But for some reason this year, they've actually they haven't, and we start scratching our heads thinking, what's happened? What's going on? Is it something that's being coached out of them, or have the opposition really strengthened up in that on the O-line? So it's going to be interesting to see. I can't remember if you've had a whole change around or not on your offensive line this year, but it's
completely rebuilt. Like I think from last season, Michael Nwenu was the only starter remaining.
I think it was the Jets or the Dolphins. One of them pretty much had the whole offensive line bar one. Actually, I think it was the Dolphins. pretty much remade the whole offensive line with low round picks, and we could not lay a finger on Tua that much. So whether it's the Bills regressing or opposition actually upgrading the offensive line, trenches will always be a big thing. But I'm always confident on offense that our offensive line is probably in the top 5 in the NFL through continuity, and obviously what they're able to do, give Josh time, give James Cook all the space to actually to make those runs and go for 8 consecutive 100-yard games, which actually made a record, a franchise record for the Bills. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see where it will be won in that in the trenches.
One thing I'll bring up to the post, special teams. Now I know it's part and parcel of the game. We don't really talk about special teams that much, but one of our best kickoff and punt returners, Marcus Jones, has been making a little bit of history as of late. He had a punt return in the Miami game, which was amazing. He had a kick. No, it was a kickoff return at Miami. He had a punt return for a touchdown against Carolina. It could have been 2 had it not been for the Panthers punter just clipping his ankles. That could have easily have happened. The kickoff rules. Are you all in favor of the kickoff rules? And if that is the case, what would be your game plan of trying to stop Marcus Jones? Because it's all about it's still a team game. At the end of the day, you still need the players to block for the returner. But it just seems like Marcus Jones just knows how to evade everything when he's running.
Yeah, I think with the Bills, the last year our special teams was abysmal. We were struggling quite a bit in there, but since Chris Tabor's come in, it's actually solidified it a little bit more. Obviously, we've got issues with our kicker and punter both being injured and all that. I think we got lucky on a couple of punts where we actually the punts were rubbish, and we actually managed to get the penalty for roughing the kicker that actually extended the drive on there. But in regards to the new kickoff rule, I can understand why they did it, and obviously the gunner's not moving until the ball's caught. The zone, I think, is a good thing because obviously it's stopping the touchbacks going back, and it's giving returns, it's making the game more exciting. But I'm more on the fence whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but leaning more towards good for the excitement. But it's those fine margins if you try to squib it and it lands just before the zone and you're actually taken out to the 40. So you're going all over the place in regards to where you can actually take it. Do you touch back? Do you run it? Can you actually get outside the zone when you actually run it? So it's interesting, and it really brings the special teams into the game as a contributing factor, rather than everyone just always talking about offense and defense. So I lean more towards it's a good thing because it's more excitement, more than just the whole rules around where it's kicked, where it comes out to, more than anything.
Okay, we're going to move on to the question that we ask every single one of our guests so far on this show. And that is, what is the opposition view of not only this game in particular, but us as a team and an opponent? You know, what are the Bills fans, what are the Bills Mafia saying about the Patriots heading into this game?
I think that everyone's thought that the Patriots will be that second team in the AFC. I think at the moment it's still the Bills division, but the fact that obviously Vrabel's come in, actually an ex Patriot, was he? Yeah, ex defensive coordinator, wasn't he? Before he became your head coach after the spell at the Titans.
No, he was a former player for us, and he's 100% in touchdown percentage.
You're
Fair
thinking
enough.
of Gerard Mayo, yeah.
I thought he had some sort of.
No, he was head coach of Tennessee. He was head coach of Tennessee. Then he was.
I thought he had a coaching role at the Patriots. That's my bad. That's my bad research.
That's fine. He was head coach for Tennessee. Then he got fired. Organization for that matter. He was a consultant then for Ohio State, I think it was. He was consultant
Browns.
there and consultant for the Browns as well. And then he came home to be a head coach for us.
That's fair enough.
He was thinking of, Matt, was Gerard Mayo, his predecessor.
Probably, most likely.
Defensive coach, and then
most likely.
But the less said about him, the better, please.
The Texans. He was the defensive coordinator for. So that's probably where I got it from. But I think most of the Bills Mafia actually, let's say, knew and thought that the Patriots will be the second team in the second place in the AFC. And I think looking at it, what you've done in a short time, obviously last year and the year before, you're on that like downward trajectory, and everyone's thinking this it. The Patriots are now going to go through years and years of mediocrity. That's the word. In there, but what you've done with a good head coach, and to say is Titans, they did well on occasions, but Vrabel is a decent head coach, and you've got the weapons now in Drake May, as I say, could be, I say it quietly, a Tom Brady light in there, but you've got those weapons, and you've got that stingy defense that actually that you were famous for that, as well as the Steelers in the last few years with Belichick. You always had a sturdy defense, but you've got some.
Our last Super Bowl win was definitely off the back of a really good defense in 2018.
Yes.
Like that was impenetrable at times. Yeah, we had arguably the best corner duo in the NFL that year with Gilmore and Jackson, who I think they had about 30 interceptions between them. Like,
hang on, what? Jax, JC Jackson, but you also had McCourty as well.
Yeah, and John Jones. So we were absolutely stacked at corner that year. But sorry, Matt, go on, continue.
That's all right. No, because I mean, you've got some decent things in it. Obviously, Christian Barmore is up there, one of the better interior linemen. Mapu, actually, I wanted the Bills to actually draft him last year. He's come in and made an immediate impact. Obviously, Gonzalez, he's injured. I don't know if he's fully back.
He played last
whether
week.
It's going to be mentioned.
He played last week against Carolina. He plays 70% of the snaps.
So he'll be up there.
That was his tune-up game. Against Carolina. So now he's going into probably to shut down. I'm probably going to guess Kieron Coleman if I had to take a wild guess.
Most probably. But you've got some good players. You've got some good players there. You've got Chason Ashem's done well. You've got some really good pieces in there, and that makes you a hell of a lot better than the Jets and the Dolphins right about now, especially the Dolphins. The less said about them, the better. But I think New England are always going to be there or thereabouts, no matter how bad they've actually been the last few years. You know that you can't keep a good team down, and the Patriots potentially could show that in the next few years. That obviously after Belichick went, you sort of slid, and now potentially come back on that ride. It's going to be an interesting watch. But there's always friendly rivalry a little bit when it comes to Bills Patriots. But I think most Bills fans would probably say that this year in the AFC East, if there was any team to potentially challenge the Bills, it would be the Patriots.
One last question I'll throw you before we go into our predictions. And this is just, I just want your honest assessment on this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You look at how New England is performing right now. Okay, we are still having some teething problems. We're still fumbling the ball. Okay, we weren't against Carolina, but we did badly against Pittsburgh, which we're still kicking ourselves for not winning that game. Just because our schedule does look very, very cupcakey, shall we say? That we do have some. Obviously, we've got to play you again, Baltimore again with Lamar Jackson. We've still got to face Tampa Bay. We've still got some but real notorious hard teams to play. But looking at our schedule, do you think we are? If all goes to plan, do you think we are not? Do you think we'll end up sneaking into the wild card? Because we'll say this right now: the Bills win this division. The Bills will win this division, but do you think we can squeak a wild card?
I mean, there is a good chance on that. I mean, obviously, the Saints could be if you obviously however you perform against us Sunday night. If you win or if you just lose but give it the best shot, that will stand you instead, knowing that you've gone toe to toe with the best team in the AFC this year. Give you hope, and obviously Saints, Titans, Browns, you could easily see at least 2 wins minimum in there. Falcons, they're your hit and miss team. I mean, they got smashed by the Panthers, but then won the following week, and you obviously smashed the Panthers, who beat who actually laid a big fat 0 on Atlanta. The Jets, you're gonna probably steamroll them twice. Dolphins probably gonna steamroll them twice. It's a possibility that you split, or it could be a possibility depending on when we've won the AFC East and how far ahead we are of whoever, Baltimore, Indianapolis, who having an interesting season, or Kansas are or Chargers in regards to that number 1 seed. You could see the Bills sort of slowly start turning off the gas in there, but you've got some very winnable games in there, and I feel that you could actually sneak it, because I think the only big ones on there, will Joey Burrow be there for the Bengals game in November?
No point. Since you're done.
Yeah.
Since you're done. By the time Joe Burrow gets back, they will probably have like 4 wins on the docket.
Unless they bring a QB in, because Jake Browning is not the answer at all. He is garbage. So, yeah.
And Burrow won't be back for that game, so you've got that in there. The only real tough ones you've got, other than us, are the Buccaneers and the Ravens, and you don't play the Ravens till pretty much your second or third to last game.
28th of December. We play it. That could potentially be fucking pushed forward into a big Christmas Day game.
Potentially, and well, it's 21st of December. You face the Ravens.
Oh, is it? Oh, I take
you got the Jets on the 28th of December.
Oh yeah, that's not going to be a Netflix game, no chance.
No. But you've got a schedule there where you can potentially squeeze into that playoffs, and I think they are pretty much the wild card in the in a sense in the AFC. The fact that schedule, as I say, Buccaneers, Bills, Ravens are probably going to be your hardest games. There you are, and obviously, what are you 2-2 at the moment?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you could easily win 10, 11 games. You could easily be 9, 8 or 9 wins, but I do think that you could just sneak into that wild card slot.
Okay.
Just before we get into final predictions, Matt, the Vegas line opened up at plus 8.5 for New England, so at Buffalo minus 8.5. Now, based on recent history, even though you guys have been miles better than us, like there's been a lot of close games. You know, the games have been within 1 score. So I guess the question is, do you think that that's a little bit a little bit harsh on New England, plus 8.5. Like, would you be surprised if that's the outcome of the game on Sunday?
Not 100% no. I mean, this year the Bills have not taken the spread at all. Every time we've been big on the spread, we've actually we've not taken it. So I don't believe in the whole spread stuff. I think we were like 16. The spread was 16 points against the Saints. It ended up being 14 points. We haven't been able to beat the spread this year, and I think there are chances, and it'll depend on how the game goes, that it could still be that close one. And as you said earlier in the show, it's a divisional game. It's a rivals game that anything can happen on any given Sunday. So I just judging by how this offense of the Bills is, I don't think it's harsh too much on the Patriots. But let's say anything in the NFL can happen this year, and it's really been shown so far. The fact that the Ravens are 1-3, the Chiefs are 2-2, and all that. So anything could happen. So we'll see. We'll see if it's harsh at the end of the day. But I think it's there or thereabouts, spot on, and it's still technically a 1-score game if you go for it, because obviously touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Okay. Right. Time for prediction time.
All right.
Go on, Matt.
I actually put it down on the podcast as 31-23. I think, or 31. Yeah, 31-23. I just had to double check
31-23. So that'll be the Bills covering the spread, basically.
Yeah, I think the fact that we
anyway.
Yeah, I think the fact that we've put up 30 points pretty much every game this season. We constantly got that explosive offense that even when we actually do struggle, i.e. the Dolphins game, when then obviously the Saints game as well, we start pulling away towards the end of the third quarter into the fourth quarter. I think regardless of it, we've got an offense that can put up points, and it just comes down to me how our run defense actually holds up. Because I have full confidence in the pass defense, but it's just the run defense, which is 31st in the league, that I'm more worried about, which will probably keep the score closer than what it is.
Okay, Kieron.
Yeah, well, interestingly enough, the Patriots have not given up more than 21 points on defense all season. If you look at the Miami game,
but if you look at our state of the teams we played, it's not exactly hard.
Obviously, we've not played anyone of the caliber of Buffalo yet. Obviously, the Miami game was 27 points on the board for them, but 7 points of that was special teams off a return. So, in terms of defense, we've not given up more than 21. But I definitely think this will be the first time we do. I'm on a very similar wavelength to Matt in terms of like the scoreline. I actually had 31-24 in my head. I do think the Patriots cover that 8.5 spread. So, that obviously would be a 7-point victory. I think we will just cover the spread. I feel like if we do lose 31-24 within one score, Patriots fans would quite happily accept that, because it would be almost somewhat a little bit of progress. As long as we're competitive in this game, that is the most important thing. If we run you close, like the Saints did last week, I think people will be really optimistic going into the run of games we've got coming up. So I'm going to go 31-24, Patriots cover the spread.
Sorry, what was the score again? I misheard that.
Bills 31, Patriots 24, but we cover the spread, which is 8.5. So.
Okay, I'm not bothered by the spread, just on the actual prediction.
It's the first time I've gone against New England this season, but I got to go.
Guess what? It will be my first time as well. However, though, I will not take the slander that the Buffalo Bills are going to put 30 points on us. I don't think that's going to happen.
That's fair.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a close game. And I'm going to stick my neck on the line here, and the Patriots are only going to lose by 3 points. They're going to lose off the boot off a fucking Seabass kick. Sorry, he's called Tyler Bass, not Seabass.
That's actually Matt Prater at the moment.
Oh, it's Prater.
It's Matt Prater at the moment. Tyler Bass is still on IR, and they haven't opened up his 21-day window yet. So it'll be Matt Prater kicking.
So Prater's fairly clutch anyway. I've got Bills winning 27-24. We definitely cover, but I don't think the Bills put because one thing I will say is last year when we did play Buffalo in a proper meaningful game, by the way, not that Week 18 shit show. Although to be honest, that win got us Will Campbell in the draft, but that I digress. Right? We lost that game 24-21, and with 12 minutes to go in the second quarter, we were 14-0 up. That was a rookie quarterback, no weapons, a shit reason you can call an offensive line, and we were just relying solely on our defense. This offense is now under a quarterback which has improved, a running game that's improved. We have better weapons, and we actually have an adult in the room as head coach. I don't think Vrabel is going to allow this game to run away from us. Hence, about why I say I think we are going to lose this game. It is moral victory week for us, so we'll take a 27-24 loss. I swear to God, if we somehow upset you Sunday night, we're going to be the most insufferable. See you next Tuesday. I swear to God.
To be honest, I say the way we've played on defense this year, there could be that potential upset there. So I don't know about most Bills fans, but me, I won't take a Patriots team for granted on there, especially this season, especially with how we've actually performed on defense. Offensively, I'm pretty confident that we can score at will when we don't actually have some stupid play calling. But the way our defense is, I could see in an alternative universe the Patriots actually turning up and ruining the Bills' perfect home season as well. Because I think we could go unbeaten for the season until the Eagles game, which would be the best one. But if anyone's going to stop the Bills actually having a perfect season at home at the Highmark for our last season, then no doubt it would probably be the Patriots more than the Chiefs, in my opinion.
Okay.
I just want to say on that, just before Karl moves into the Blazing Six, would just be if we do beat you, I think it doesn't really mean. Obviously, I know you want to have an unbeaten season, like you said, but I don't think it means much in terms of the division or anything like that. I mean, it would mean more for our chances of making the playoffs than it would for anything for you, because you're still going to win the division, I imagine, by 2 or 3 games. So I don't think a loss for you guys is the worst thing in the world. It would just be a lot bigger for us if we were to win the game.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think with us, because we've got the tie break on the Ravens at the moment, and obviously they're 3-1, so they're literally like four games behind us in there. Obviously, we got the Chiefs 2 weeks after the bye week on there. We win that, then I could comfortably potentially see us being a 1 seed, regardless of our record and regardless of this loss. It'll just be almost like a wake up call if we do end up losing this week. That something needs to be done on the defensive side, whether it be the off season actually going a bit more in there, or if there's certain changes in personnel or anything like that. If the Patriots do end up winning, it won't make a difference, because I think we've already got our advantages over our 2 biggest rivals for that number 1 seed in the AFC.
Fair enough. Right, let's move into something a little fun and games that we always do at the end of each preview show. Our Blazing Six. 6 games. We've got spreads for all 6 of them. It's down to you to pick the team, whether they are the favourite or to cover or to cause the upset. So the first game we've got on the docket is, of course, the London game, just like we did last week with the Ireland game. Vikings and Browns. Vikings are favoured by -3.5. Matt, who are you going for this one?
Both have got shit quarterbacks, haven't they?
I mean, we don't know what Dylan Gabriel's capable of, so
yeah. I'm gonna put the Vikings. Vikings are the favourites. I think they still have a little bit more in them than the Browns, and they did push Pittsburgh a lot more with their backup quarterback than probably people expected. So I would say the Vikings easily cover the spread.
Okay, so you're taking the points on them. Fair enough. Kieron?
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a pretty bad game to watch. It's going to be good defense, bad game. I wasn't a Dylan Gabriel fan coming out of Oregon. Didn't think he should have been drafted where he was. Certainly not over Shedeur Sanders. I think they're making a mistake with that, first and foremost. I think Shedeur is a better player. And I feel like Gabriel going up against that ferocious Minnesota defense is going to get absolutely devoured. So give me Minnesota to cover the spread.
Okay, Rafa, so clean sweep on that one. Okay, another trepidatious game. Houston at Baltimore. Houston are favoured by -1.5. Kieron, you get the floor first.
Obviously, Lamar's officially been ruled out now, so Cooper Rush is going to play. The Texans have been so shit this year, haven't they?
I mean, they did beat the Tins last week.
Yeah, the Titans are terrible as well.
No. You don't refer to them that name anymore until they get back to any sort of relevancy. They're now called the Tins, or as our good friend Fletcher from the Hurdle the Line said, they're now called the Tits.
Yeah, I was just thinking the Tits. Yeah. Do you know what? I will go Baltimore to cover.
Oh,
being at home, I think they'll just rely on Derrick Henry, and Cooper Rush will just make very basic throws like he does. So. Yeah, I just can't back Houston after what I've seen from them so far.
Okay, I'm going to take Houston with the points in this one. This Ravens defense, they've lost 6 of their starters already. Karl Hamilton's out. They've lost a lot of players on that D line, and yeah,
I think if they lose this weekend, their season's done. They're not recovering from 1-4.
I don't think the season. I think their division is done. I wouldn't say their wild card spot is over.
I'll tell you what, Pittsburgh are going to luck into the luckiest division win ever.
They are going to
have been decimated by injury, and they're just going to be the worst division winner we've seen for a long time.
The Steelers have had the magic horseshoe up their ass all season, so that's why they're going to win it. Matt, over to you.
I'm actually going to say same as you. I'm going to say Texans actually on there, because they haven't been able to really get after the quarterback. I mean, the only 2 people to actually get sacks for the Ravens: Madubuike, who's out for the season, and Tavis Robinson. They've both got 2 each, so they haven't been able to get after that quarterback enough. You're going to rely too much on Derrick Henry, so the Texans can pretty much sell out on the run game and actually force Cooper Rush to try and beat him in the air. They've got some good weapons in Hopkins and Flowers, but I do think the injuries and all that, and just looking at their injury reports, with so many players, with Owuze did not practice, Hamilton, Murphy, Travis Jones limited, Away limited, Roquan Smith didn't practice, Ronnie Stanley was limited on there. Just the injuries have caught up with them a lot more, so I think it's going to be Houston actually taking the game.
Yeah,
I literally just cross-referenced I wrote down a lot of my planned bets for this weekend, and in my handicap, I did have Ravens plus 2.5 on the alternative handicap. But yeah, I think this one's going to be really close to call. It's so hard.
Okay. Third game. This is got a tank ball written all over it. Giants at the Saints. Saints are favored by -2.5. Favored by -2. Matt,
I'm taking the Giants. I'm taking the Giants, even without neighbours in there. What Jackson Dart did does show that there's potential in that, and yeah, the Saints ran us close last week, but we managed to limit Alvin Kamara to, I think it was like 50 odd yards or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. And outside of Olave, you've only got Dewan Johnson as your only other real pass catching target out there. I mean, I think it's easy for the Giants, even without say neighbours. You've still got some skill players on there, and I just think they have enough on defense to cause the Saints more issues. So I'd give me Giants.
Okay, Giants taking the points there. Kieron?
Yeah, I agree. I'm taking the Giants in this one. I don't think I'm going to pick the Saints all season, to be honest, because as much as they've been a lot more competitive than what I thought they would be, I still don't think they're going to win many games at all. Neighbours being out is a big loss, but I think that Giants defense is sneaky underrated, so I feel that'll win them the game.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same as well. No, Giants and the points. This team seems absolutely dog shit. I've got no other words for it really on that front. Okay. Commanders at the Chargers. Chargers are favored by -3. Jaden Daniels is back. So, Kieron, first one to you.
Yeah, I'm taking a Chargers bounce back. They're going to cover the spread and take them at the points. I just think they're a much better team than Washington. I think even with Jaden Daniels, they haven't got much around him. They've got so many injuries. They're on the road. Give me Chargers.
Well, you say they're on the road, but it's in.
Well,
LA.
yeah, it's probably the worst home environment in the NFL, but still.
If anybody had seen Thursday Night Football where the round played the 49ers, that is a fucking embarrassment to the NFL. An embarrassment. Anyhow, I digress. Matt?
I'm going Chargers as well. I mean, McLaurin's out, and outside of him, really, who have you got? You've got Zach Ertz as probably one of the guys, and Deebo Samuel. I mean, Luke McCaffrey, he can make an impact, but I just don't see enough on offense, even with Jaden Daniels in there, to really trouble the Chargers themselves. So I'll take Chargers to take it all.
I'm going to do something different since I really am not going to be boring on this. I think LA is going to win, but I'm going to have Washington to cover. So,
okay. I only say things. I've got a group chat going on with another group, a different genre altogether, and one of the people in there is actually a Commanders fan. I've just been teasing him all season, so that's another reason say why I'm going Chargers. But I do think Chargers will have too much in the bank for the Commanders.
Okay, our fifth game is Miami at Carolina. Miami are favored. Sorry, I told you I had to throw a shit one in there, and I have done. Dolphins are favored by -1. Kieron?
God, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just throw one in.
I'm just looking at what I'd written down earlier. I did Panthers alternative handicap plus 2.5, but the spread's 1. So, Jesus Christ.
Take your time, because I'm having trouble actually thinking this as well. So Patriots.
Yeah, I genuinely have no idea. This is such a bad game. I will go.
I would like to go to bed at some point.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this is so hard. Give me Panthers to cover.
Oh, okay. Matt,
That's my risky one.
I'm going the other way. I'm actually going to go Dolphins. I feel that there's just enough in that Dolphin, even without Tyreek Hill. I think there's just about enough in that Dolphins for them to cover, because the Panthers, you go out and beat Atlanta, who in turn this week actually won, and then go lose to the Patriots. They're your up and down team. They're still in that developmental stage. Is Bryce Young the answer in there? Chuba Hubbard's actually ruled out on there, so you're really looking to go through. You can't see anything else other than really probably a Dolphins win on that. And I think they just have enough to do it. And yeah, I'll take the Dolphins on that one.
you're taking them up straight up, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm taking the Dolphins straight up for this as well. After what I saw from Carolina last week against us, I've got no hope for them. Bryce Young needs to get out of the NFL really quickly. He really does. Okay, last game on the docket. This is a sneakily interesting game. It's Monday Night Football as well. KC at the Jaguars. KC are favored by -3.5. Was KC good last year, or was the Ravens defense that shit?
Oh.
Matt, we'll throw this to you first.
Yeah. Me first.
Yeah.
I don't know on this one. I am, as much as I want to say it because it'll affect. Obviously, it has an effect on the Bills and standing for the number one seed. I'm going to play risky on this one. I am going to go for the Jaguars. Actually,
Did KC cover, or are you taking them straight up?
I think KC covers.
Okay.
But I think Jaguars
Win.
probably just about have enough in there to actually to take the win. I think you've got those good pieces on defense. Obviously, you got Hunter, who what is it? Is he a wide receiver or a cornerback? Who knows? With him, they seem to not playing that much, but on either, or give him many snaps on either. But I can see the Jaguars having a little bit too much for the Chiefs, and obviously going in beating the 49ers last week, Texans losing to the Bengals, and then obviously beating the Panthers. Not the softest or not the hardest of schedules on there, but I do see a little bit more in the Jaguars than I do the Chiefs on there. So Jaguars to win, but the Chiefs to cover.
Okay. Kieron?
Yeah, I'm going to disagree. The Jags have surprised me being where they are. With the amount of, they 3-1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of parallel universe are we living in where the Jags are 3-1? They've surprised me. They're definitely better than what I thought, but I don't think they're ready to contend with one of the powerhouses in the AFC yet. Even though it being at home, like just with the experience in big games in prime time, Kansas City. This is what I said last week with Kansas City and Baltimore, that they've proved it in big games. I feel like they'll do that again. I'm going to take the Chiefs to cover. And I feel like this could be one of the few games we get every season where Trevor Lawrence has a brain fart and just looks like a complete and utter bust.
Trevor Lawrence has been playing like a bust all season long. I think he's ranked. He's ranked every single statistic as a quarterback. He is ranked bottom 6.
He can we categorically say he is a bust, considering he was a number 1 overall pick and was supposed to be a generational talent, has never really lived up to that.
I don't really want to do tribalism on this podcast, but the answer is yes. Yeah. Okay, Casey. Yeah, I'm taking Casey in the points as well. I would love Jacksonville to pull off an upset on Monday Night Football, but Trevor Lawrence is just playing so awful, and KC are going to zone in on Travis Etienne. The only way they're going to win this game is this Saxonville 2.0 really gives Mahomes a lot of problems. But he's got his boy Xavier Worthy back, so guess what? It's curtains, unfortunately, on that one. So that's our Blazing 6 for Week 5. Matt, thank you so much for coming on. It is very, very much appreciated. The link to all of the podcasts that the Red, White, Buffalo Blues is on down in the description below. Make sure you go and check him out. Obviously, you read your preview show yesterday, I believe it was. Yep. So make sure you go check them out for their preview, what they think of the Patriots on their own show. What have we got coming up in the next week or so?
Not much, really. I think it's just we've got a review of hopefully the win, then obviously our preview of previews and just general chat. Actually, potentially praising the Patriots this week, depending on the outcome, or it could be a case of we're actually berating the defense again. So it's definitely worth a tune in when we actually do the review show. But it's just it's plain sailing as normal. I think this will be like episode 345. I think. Of it, so I'm losing count. I'm losing my voice sometimes doing these, but it's a lot of good stuff coming up, and hopefully I have a few guests lined up in a couple of weeks for our bye week. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely, mate. It's good to have you on. Long time no see, and we'll probably crash up again week 15. For the return matchup. Obviously, you'll be at our ground. We'll be wearing our... We didn't even mention this. We've got an hour and 17 on this podcast. We've not mentioned once that you're wearing your Rivalry jersey.
Yeah.
The pure white Rivalry jersey is going to be a complete whiteout at Highmark Stadium.
They've asked fans to kit out in white. It's just a shame it's not snowing at the time, because that would have made it even more difficult for the Patriots.
Going to be like watching a Penn State game.
Yes, it will be like watching a Penn State game. Anyway, cheers, Matt, and thank you for coming on. It's much appreciated. Kieron, as always.
Thanks for having me.
No
we'll see you again on Tuesday. That's it for us for tonight. Make sure you smash the like button on the way out. Hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Tell all your friends. Follow us on social media platforms, and make sure that you follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple as well. We will be back on Tuesday, probably reviewing the loss, but stranger things have happened in the NFL. We'll see you later for now. We'll see you Tuesday night for the review. Good night. God bless. Go Patriots.